Hey, welcome to another episode of TSINELAS. Today, first co-host coming on is my brother-in-law, Ricky Gonzalez. Rick, say hi.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here. First podcast for me, and proud to be his first guest.
So, last time we did talk about education. Rick works also as an educator as well for a school district. We won't name any of the school districts. We'll just say he works for one, which he does. Rick, what do you do there?
So I'm currently a health teacher and PE teacher, but mostly in the classroom now. Been in the was in PE for a good couple of years, but now giving my try in the classroom and see what that's like.
And what do you think so far?
I love health. I teach middle school kids, mostly eighth graders. It's great. I love engaging with those kids. I see a lot of potential, and I like that I can reach them at a real, I want to say, sensitive age, very impressionable, rather than reaching them at the high school where their minds are already kind of sometimes too far gone. But I really enjoy the eighth grade mentality right now because they don't know if they're still kids or trying to be adults, and that's where I can kind of try to mold them.
So, what do you think is because you did elementary, right?
Yes.
Okay, so eighth grade, you really like eighth grade. What do you think is a big difference between a elementary kid, let's say fifth grade, and an eighth grader?
So I like that because a lot of people ask those. A lot of people are comfortable with the pre-K and the elementary. For me, when I talk to a fifth grader, you're going to have that childlike mentality, which is normal because of their age. But with eighth grade, I can actually talk to them in a more adult like. I'll use an example. So if I tell them, hey man, can you sit down, stop, come on, stop messing around, dude. Stop. I can talk to the eighth grader like that, and the eighth grader will be like, okay, you're right. Where the fifth grader might come back at me with a little, negative response or attitude or whatnot. So that's the difference. I can actually talk to the eighth graders like an adult, and they'll listen a little bit better.
What do you thought about the sixth graders on campus?
Oof, they don't know where they're at, dude. They're coming out of elementary, man. They're coming out of elementary, and they're trying to get their foothold at the middle school. So they want to be treated like an adult. Like I tell the kids, man, like you guys want to be kids, but then when it's time for us to talk to you like a grown up, and we tell you, hey man, can you sit down already? Then, ooh, why did you talk to me like that? Then you go back to being a kid. Like, come on, man. You're trying to act all tough and hard and all that. And then when we actually put you in your place, then you want to call mommy and daddy and whatnot. I was like, dude, make up your mind. You want to be a top dog in the school, or you just, they don't know where they're at. That's what I don't care about the sixth graders. I don't care about them too much, man.
Would you go back to high school?
I want to say I want to get back to high school, only because I can talk to them a little bit more. And the topics actually you can talk about pregnancy, drug abuse, talking about the future, the jobs, trying to get your own business going, a little bit more relevant because I don't think the school system's doing a good job. We're too busy, like we all know, educators, we're too busy teaching to the damn star test, dude. Come on, let's be honest, dude. Most of these kids, what I have trouble with, the simplest things, man. If I open the door for some of these kids, just holding it open, maybe one out of the 10 to 15 kids will say thank you. Everybody else, nothing. They expect it. I don't know if they're taught this at home or not taught at home, dude. Like that's the biggest frustration. I'm like, so I got to be in their face, kind of like, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, thank you. So for them, it's just like, oh, you're supposed to open the door for me because you're an adult. Like, man, where are your manners, dude? And that's where we're lacking. But we're too busy trying to teach to the STAR test.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Star was meant to actually judge to see where the kid is at, had nothing to do, no dings against the school, no nothing, but just see like a summary, almost like
Mhm.
a in college your
A
end of
placement, like
like
see where you're
or
at.
yeah, like an end of the year exam or
Right,
whatever, right?
right.
But this one has no bearing on grades, no bearing on funding or anything like that. It could be an assessment, be like, okay, well, now we need to know what we're doing next year.
Mhm.
And I guess what I don't like is that not only do we have the star, but we also have like other assessments that has to be done through the year too. So for me, it's like I feel like in elementary that the other assessments are better just because it judges where the kids are at. It doesn't affect them in any way. Like there's no grades or anything that are given to them. But I just wish like that seems more beneficial to kids. But the two things that I don't like is I'm not a fan of Star. I'm also not a fan of how all this funding is based on attendance. I hate that we reward kids for attending school, and I feel that we are shunning out or just saying, "Hey, great job" for the kids who actually academically perform.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the stuff that I can't stand, and I wish that stuff would change. I wish like our structure on how we fund, how we are funding schools or whatever. I get the fact of like, okay, we need so many students or so many students in a school. Okay, and each student has like a number on them, meaning like how much money is given to them by the state, and then that's where funding is. But I just hate the fact of like it's just like that's it. It's like just make sure there's more bodies in there, so then you can get funded more.
Yeah.
Can't stand that.
See, for me, and I think I brought that up to my admins. I'm like, you know what? I think at the end of the year, we got to have this appreciation for our kids that are, have good attendance, do well in school and their grades, have a big old field day or something to that effect, right? Reward them with something, man. That's something at the end of the tunnel. Like, hey, man, you know what? If you do well, you have straight A's or A's and B's, what have you. We're going to have a badass field day for you guys. We're going to have a field trip for you guys. We're going to have that water park, those bouncy houses with the water slides and all that, dude. Put it on the field, get a concession stand going, some music. Hey, man, it's going to be like that all day, But, oh, that's a good idea. Well, you're burning these kids out and they don't care, man. They're and then you try to do benchmarks for them, but you do them back to back to back days. I'm like, and you expect them to do well. I was like, to me as an adult, you gave me 3 tests back to back like that. I'd be like, man, I'm flunking this shit quick, man.
Like I want to, okay. What do you think? Because this has been on my brain a lot. Elementary starts the earliest. Middle school, a little bit like after, 15, 30 minutes after. And then high school, 15, 30 minutes after middle school. Why can't we all start at the same time? Maybe it's a bus thing, but I'm thinking like, okay, here's my thought. If kids, the youngest kids, those are the ones who are growing the most. They're the ones who need the most rest, right? Because the older we get, we can kind of die back a little bit on the rest. I mean, high school kids are still growing, 100%. Right. But the little ones are the ones who are growing. Like they need the same. How can we put them at the earliest?
Parents, daycare. It becomes like that, in my opinion. But let's be honest. Why is it that most kids they go to summer school, they go from 8 to 1, and for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and they pass for some reason they pass the semester. Whoa! Yeah, we need 9 to 10 months of pure school, and then 8 to 4, like 8 to 350. Yeah. Like, why do we need so many hours, man? Like to me, I think the hours are too long. I think every kid can agree, every teacher can agree that the hours are too long. Let's go back to the way it was, 8 to 3, everybody. Yeah. And then, you're done for the rest of the day and we're good.
Okay, it was 8 to 3, right? Because I was trying to remember, like, I do not remember going to school that early. Like, because me and my youngest always, like, we get to school before 7 a.m. And I'm kind of like, man, this is early. And I do not remember going to school that early.
See, I think early was always 8 o'clock, but the end of the day for me was always 2:55.
Okay, yeah.
2:45.
I kind of thought that the day wasn't as long.
No. Okay. And they added all these different more hours. And this is where I get, as teachers, this as educators, how fast do you usually eat your lunch, man?
I have to eat it with the kids. Like there's the only way I can eat
right,
is with kids,
but so me, like 30 minutes. I think a lot of us, man, we got 30 minutes.
It's supposed to be 30 minutes.
Technically, it's about 20 to 25. Yeah. By the time you walk, if you got to heat up your lunch, or you got to drive somewhere to go get it, and then you come back and then you eat, and then sometimes I have a class that they release early from the cafeteria, and they're already knocking at my door 3 minutes before. I'm like, man. So I just wait there. I'm like, nah, man, I'm waiting. And I'm watching my little, whatever I'm watching during my lunch. And I'll wait till the last couple of seconds. Then I'll go open the door. Cause I'm like, man, you're taking away more of my
Have you
lunch.
noticed, like on the elementary side, have you noticed like when they build the schedule, there's some teachers eat like at 10:30 a.m.
That's me.
See,
That's me.
that's
That's me.
called
That's me, man.
brunch. That's
Yeah. So
brunch.
every time I walk into the lounge, man, I see all the like, what's up with my brunch crew, man? What's up? Like we're all, and
What'd you
we're all
bring?
like,
Is
we're all,
it eggs Benedict?
it's like, dude, and we're all eating all these, like, just and having this big
Yeah, yeah,
old
yeah.
lunch,
I
dude.
brought a
And like,
croissant today.
yeah, dude, and everybody's pissed because it's like, and it's basically all the elective teachers, man. It's sad. Like,
Yeah.
and look, I'm not gonna name drop anybody, but in my school, there's a lot of core teachers, and you know what? Everybody except the elective teachers have at least 2 planning periods.
Oh wow.
We have 1, and yet our schedule is 10:45 a.m. But we're the ones that stay after school because we coach and teach, and we have extracurriculars, band, choir, orchestra, dude. But then we stay after school till about 7 or 8. But our lunch was at 10:45, man. And those teachers, that the core teachers, the TIA teachers,
Yeah.
hey man, they got 2 planning periods and that extra couple of grand.
Yeah.
And they go home at 4:30 latest.
Yeah.
And we're over here staying and starving, man, for
Yeah.
$1 a day that we make in the extracurricular and the
Yeah.
stipends, dude. Like, come on, man. It's just,
I know.
it's
Speaking of,
ridiculous. But they want you to be passionate and they want you to keep teaching at your best. I'm like, man, I'm going to teach up to my potential.
yeah,
And that's it.
and that's the thing that gets me the most is like getting paid for what you're worth.
Yeah.
And granted, I'm happy for anyone outside of
Yes.
education who gets paid well.
Mhm.
I think it's a given. Like you should get paid for what you're worth.
Mhm.
The one pet peeve I have is hearing people say, "Oh, we need to get better teachers in there." I'm like, first of all, the teaching itself, like it's a low salary compared to other professionals, right? Professions. It's a lower salary, but they're doing something because they actually want to do it. Like
Mhm.
I don't see teachers going in there going, "Man, I'm going to take this job because it's not only doesn't only pay well, but I can also, I also affect the kids."
Mhm.
But I think regardless of the pay, they go in there anyways. So we already do have good teachers.
Mhm.
The ones I think they're referring to are teachers who are burned out.
Yep.
They literally know that they are not getting paid for what they're worth. They some of them have second jobs. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
in a profession like this, I don't think you shouldn't have the second job. And I think if we got paid what we were actually worth
Yeah.
for doing this, yeah, I mean, you would probably see zero complaints. And if you don't want to pay us, okay, shorten the school day.
Yeah.
Shorten the
Or-
school day.
Yeah.
4-day work week.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah,
something.
and see, and that's the thing right there. Like, again, bless the TIA teachers, they're getting that beautiful grant. We don't apply, we can't qualify for it. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to go above and beyond doing more and still getting paid less and working longer. Like me, like I said, I eat lunch and then I have 5 back-to-back classes.
Yeah.
All the way. And then I got practice after school, dude. So I don't get home till 6 and I'm starving, man. I can't even work out the way I want to.
Yeah.
And I see all these teachers and they got their 2 planning periods and they got this and they got that. But going back to that, I think they need to add an incentive. When I was up in Michigan, dude, with at River Rouge STEM Academy, hey, shout out. But that district, dude, actually did this. I know it's a smaller district, but they had the funds to where, like, if you are not absent as a teacher more than 2 times, I believe it was per semester. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. If I wasn't absent more than 2 times, dude, at the end of the semester, you'd get a $2,500 stipend.
All right.
So then, obviously, if you get that one, it motivates you. Like, dude, no, I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
sick, but I'm still going, man. I'm gonna get that $2,500.
Yeah.
Second semester, same thing.
Yeah.
You weren't absent more than 2 times.
Yeah.
$2,500, dude. That's $5,000 at the end of the at the end of the year. Like,
Mhm.
that's motivation to me.
Yeah.
Here, it's like, dude. I mean, now you're planning your sick days. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna use it here, here, here,
Yeah.
here, dude.
Like I definitely feel like the incentives should be built differently. I don't know if I'm like, and anyone can comment if I'm off on how it works, but TIA is also the TIA. It's that teacher what's it called? Incentive allotment.
Okay.
Right.
There you go.
So it's basically teachers who hit a certain scoring on their observations, along in how students perform, all that stuff. It goes into some whatever they test them on, and if they qualify for it and they make the marks, then they get a incentive around this area. That incentive can be anywhere between $12,000 on top, or it can go all the way up to
30?
I've heard like a third, yeah, depending like what grade
Mhm.
or what level, it can go up to 30,000, and it's guaranteed for 5 years,
Mhm.
right? My thing is, let's just say that every teacher who qualifies for it gets that. Like they all make the mark. So now you pay out. So I'm guessing that there's funds to pay out all of them, right? So if we had something like that and everyone got it, or all the teachers who qualified, why can't we then change it to where, okay, we are going to raise everyone's base salary up to at least 85K.
Yeah.
And then you have an incentive system where every year you can get up to $5,000.
Right.
Every year you would just keep doing that, right? So it's not granted for the 5 years, but every year you can work hard or whatever, and then you can get an extra 5K at the end of that year, and then you would redo it the next year or whatever. But at least your base salary, right, without any step ups, and step ups are just every year there's a percentage that it's supposed to increase. Okay, 0 level of teaching, 80, 85, and then as you progress in years, okay, there you go. Now you have teachers that are making at least 100K.
Yeah, I believe that's a beautiful salary right there. I think I've always aimed for that when people ask me, like, man, 85 at least, 90 across the board, everybody. And then you can make extra stipends, again, coaching, UIL, whatever you're doing. But that would be a beautiful incentive, man. I mean, I don't, me as a single man, I still have trouble making those bills, man. That you know, man, it's hard, man. It's difficult, dude. So I mean, I'm already looking at trying to do something on the side, like you said, a second job, maybe just something different. But because this coaching gig, I love coaching, but we all know we don't make any money on that. I mean, anybody that knows, but that would be a better salary to start off and then, you know, help you out with that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I just wish something like that would definitely, I think that would change a lot of people, and it'll change a lot of people's attitudes too to teaching. I mean, again, I do feel that everyone who gets in the first place gets in because they actually do want to make a big difference. There's a passion for it, and any which way, like if it's through coaching, other specials, behavior like myself or whatever, you know, you go in it because you want to do something.
Right.
It's just not getting paid for what, you know, for what you're worth or what you're doing. You know, I'm happy, like, some of my good friends of mine, they work at Tesla, and they started working there, I believe it was like 4 years ago, right? The salary was lower. Now it's been 4 years later, now they're clearing over 100. And I'm just like,
and they have an early retirement.
And I'm pretty sure that they're getting paid early retirement. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things that, like, I mean, I'm happy for you. I really, really am. But man, what's wrong with my job? You know? And here's the thing too, is like, we were talking earlier about like taxpayer money, right? And this is what I can't stand. And, you know, I will okay, this is Texas, right? I think I said that before in one of the podcasts. Here's my thing. We're supposed to have taxpayer funds go in, and it goes into education, right? For public education. Why are we in this mess where it's not allocating to public education? Correct. Or to public service, right? Because my examples are always law enforcement. Okay, we need law enforcement, we need firefighters, we need all first responders. That's all taxpayer funded. So all the money that's allocated for those first responders, it should go there. That's where it goes. And if that salary increases to resources to everything, it should go there, not private areas, right? I mean, we don't privatize first responders. It is from taxpayers, which it should be, right? Education, it's the biggest workforce in the world. Like, and I don't understand, like, every adult or anyone outside of like K-12, right? You were required to learn education, and majority of people get it from public education, because it works. So why is it that if a place is not doing well, make it do well, pump some money into that thing, make it better? Because we obviously know that if it's funded well, and obviously, yes, management does well, you know, what, blah, like district wise managing budgets, whatever. Okay, that takes into account, then yes, it will make it perform better. You know what I mean? Not this backwards way, as if every district I've seen so far is losing money, and they're growing. So how do you keep losing money and it keeps growing.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
doesn't
so
make sense.
opposite.
It doesn't make
It's so
sense.
opposite.
Now, going back to that real quick, I want to say now, these past couple of years, I want to say first responders and whatnot. Now I feel like a first responder, man. I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you. Like with all these school shootings, I mean, let's be honest, man. It's all
Yeah.
across the globe, maybe more in the US, but every morning that I'm in traffic duty or hallway duty or what have you, man, kids are greeting me. Hey, good morning, good morning. Yeah, good morning. I'm, it's sad to say, man, I'm more like on guard. Like, man, is anybody coming in with a weapon? Is anybody a threat this morning? And I'm like, but my salary is still my base salary. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. I mean, just the other day in the news, man, some teacher, got shot in the, it was Texas school. I don't know if it was middle school, high, but it doesn't matter. Like, it's not making the news because now it became the norm, but going back to that, like the allocated funds for educators, for all the, man, it seems like they have all this money for everything except education. But yet we talked about it. It seems like the curriculum, and I don't think we talked about it enough, about how I see these kids nowadays, they don't know, a lot of them don't know anything about the world, man. They know the computer, they know let me look up this answer, but they don't know how to really read. They don't know how to comprehend. They don't know how to write properly. Their manners are not the best either. So they don't know about credit score. They don't know about income taxes and mortgages and they don't know any of that stuff. So I think we need to attack the problem and really maybe look at the curriculum, change the curriculum a little bit, and maybe make sense for these kids, man. Because these kids, they go to school, man, they don't want to be there. And most of them are failing anyway, because whatever interest they do have, it's not their interest. I think they need to bring back vocational. I know in our district, in our city, we don't have vocationals in the middle school, where when I was in middle school, we had that. We had homemaking, we had wood shop, we had, I think, maybe mechanics, auto mechanics. We had all these different vocationals, and they did away with that. But most of these kids, they're not going to go to college. They don't want to go to college, but they want a vocational skill. Like, they want to go into cosmetology or barbering, be a barber. But so I might have gotten sidetracked on what we were talking about, but I just had to throw that out there before it got away from me.
But that's what I tell people is, like, if you ask teachers, they know, like, they know what would work better. And I will say this all the time, that if you give teachers like a district budget, like give them like, hey, this is the problem, they'll work together and they'll solve the problem. And if you say parameters like, okay, this is the only money you can make, okay, like they a lot of teachers know what to do. They know where to change things, and everyone knows on the elementary level, they see it, like there's a curriculum pace that they have to follow, right? And then, but yet there's an overcrowding of classes, and then there's kids who receive special services. So, and it's one person with all these kids, and there's not enough bodies who are certified, educated bodies who know what to do, right? Just because they're just in low numbers, right? And I think that's the thing too, is like, I believe when you and I were in middle school, I'm pretty sure Texas in itself was in the top 10 of education, because that governor at the time, I think, made sure education was the top. And if that was the time when we did have different vocational stuff and everything, I mean, hey, maybe there was something to that, because there was enough money and there was enough teachers and staff to do those jobs. Now people are going bye-bye and they're leaving. I mean, there's some first year teachers who come in that I've seen, and the next year they go, I'm gonna have to do something else because I can't afford it, and it breaks you, because when they were coming in, man, they were ready. And it's like, I'm gonna get these kids to where they're gonna go. And there's your passion. Sadly, life takes over, and that passion starts to go down, and then they start to go in like, I need to do something else, or else I'm not going to be able to survive. And I think, and all that is just one big problem. I do feel there's a solution we could do to this. It's just, it's not happening.
And now we don't have to go too far back. As you said, when we were in elementary, I remember in elementary, I remember third grade, I believe, we learned how to do some cooking in class. Our teacher was teaching us. I think at that time, your teacher taught almost every subject at the time, depending where you were. So we had like history class. We learned how to barter,
Mm-hmm.
because we were learning about this topic, the Native Americans and whatnot. They use bartering systems,
Mm-hmm.
how to cook, a couple things, how to be. We learned how to write to our pen pal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pen
I
pals
remember
in New
pen
York.
pals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
but it was
yeah.
fun.
I also
See,
knew how to make an ashtray out of
there
stuff
you
too for
go.
my
Yeah, see,
parents.
an
Yeah,
ashtray, man. See those things. But again, school was fun back then.
yeah,
See, and that's
yeah.
the problem now. School isn't fun anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
make it more of a. It seems intentional, more like a prison where they kind of like they
Yeah, I see some schools built like a
yeah,
prison.
yeah, and but the kids' mentality, man, they're killing their spirit. They're
Yeah,
killing their will to want to like do better, and it's just why it just seems like intentional for me. The
yeah,
curriculum is not fun. My class, dude, in health class, I mean,
yeah.
I teach the social, the spiritual, mental, physical part, and it's awesome. I take them outside every now and again, lift weights, whatnot. I play some music in the classroom. They love my class, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be like, man, your class is cool. We can be ourselves in here. Okay, so my question is, why can't it be like that in every classroom where
Yeah,
it's okay to be yourself, it's okay to express your feelings.
yeah,
It just seems that they're doing something wrong and not. I don't know. I mean, is it the curriculum or is
yeah.
it just?
To me, I think sometimes I feel like there's stressors coming from different viewpoints
Mhm.
from a teacher's perspective. Like they're getting direction from here, and then that administrator or that supervisor gets a direction from here and then
Yeah.
here, and then that person gets directives from here, here, and here, and all that stuff is like a telephone that dribbles down all
Mhm.
to the people on the campus.
You're right.
And then it's like now that person gets everything and they have to go from here and here and here, and then they get all stressed out.
Mhm.
Sometimes and then they'll say like this takes priority. Someone will say up on the top saying, well, it's okay, like it doesn't take as much priority, but to them it really does, because now it's stressed that this is going to happen to them, and so on. So like people are going to get in trouble, and then it throws off their understanding. I mean, there's I here's a simple example. There was a kid in the class. They thought one thing was funny. Okay, on a normal on a normal level, trying to, depending whoever watches, I'm not trying to be general, but basically it was something that really wasn't a big deal. It really, really wasn't. But because the kid got called out and the teacher made it a big deal, it became such a big deal, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about it, on another day, that teacher would have literally never thought that was a big deal. But it's the stress. It's the stress that everything is coming down on you. That's what you feel. You perceive it to be like that, and then it just blows up, right? Because everyone has a bad day. I just feel that sometimes when you take into account everything and you suddenly just panic or feel frustrated or anxious, anything can set you off. And I think, and to me, I feel like it's happening more often than not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think there was like they did a poll, was it last year? And it was like teacher morale. And normally morale goes down in two areas, normally on average. I believe in October and in April, something like that. February,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, this one, I think
heard that.
I think
I
it was
heard that.
I think morale. Oh no, it was November, something like that.
Okay.
Morale stopped in September when we were only back for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I felt it. I felt it this year.
Like,
Man.
wait a minute.
I felt it this year.
Like,
so horrible this year. September, September had felt the longest year. I think we all wanted to quit. We're
yeah,
like,
like,
dude,
I'm done. I'm out of here.
But then again, we had the brunch,
Yeah.
and we had to get used to the brunch and stay after school. Dude, we weren't getting out till about 8. If we had game days,
Yeah.
orchestra, choir, they all had to stay.
Yeah.
But going back to that with the teachers, I think, again, adults, we're big kids, dude. We're just grown kids, but we're still kids at the end of the day. We still act like it. But teachers need to do a better job, with myself included, not just, of understanding the psychology of these kids nowadays. We need to adapt to what they're going through. Again, these kids were born with a freaking phone and iPad in their hands, dude. At 6 months, they had an iPad, and we got to learn how to actually understand where they're coming from, what they're going through. And everybody has their own traumas. Everybody has their own background. Do teachers take the time to actually get to know them and sympathize and empathize and actually talk to them, not talk down to them, but talk to them. Like, hey man, come here.
Yeah.
What's going on? Talk to me, man. What's going on? No. Okay. I know that you feel this way, but you know what? And I think we need to do a better job because, man, I'll be honest with you. I hear teachers, and it's usually the same ones, always getting after kids. Get out of here. Go to the counselor. Go here. Do you even take the time to actually like, hey, come here. What's going on, man? Why do you keep acting up in my class like that? And I think we need to do a better job of that. But I know, like you said, everybody's stressed.
Yeah.
We're all going through our own things. And last thing we want to do is get in an argument with a teenager. Yeah. You know, who wants to do that?
That's the worst.
So you just send them to the office and send them off.
Yeah.
You know, so of course.
Let someone else get an argument with them.
Yeah, exactly. Let somebody else, but then they round them up for you and then they go to your class the next period. Yeah. Now they're mouthing off to you. It's like, dude, I didn't do anything to you, man. Yeah. Oh, that other teacher pissed me off. I was like, well, it wasn't me, man. Like, so. And
then that's where my job steps in.
There you go. And they got to learn how to de-escalate. And again, like with your job, I think is very, very crucial. Instead of having those 5 when we come back, those 5 days when we come back to school to work, all those staff development, I don't know what the hell they are. I'm sorry. Dude, let's have better classroom management. Let's have de-escalation, 100%. Procedures with our teachers, man. Like, hey, look, man, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do something different, man, because, we're going to go over data of last year. Dude, what the hell do I care, dude? Like, let's just get it going, dude. Like, I mean, it's not me as a coach. I'm not going to go back. Hey, last season we did this. Last season we lost. Last season, dude, it's a new season, man. We're going to do something different or new. Let's go in with a positive attitude and change whatever we didn't work last year.
And data can be emailed.
Exactly.
It can be emailed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We don't need POCs.
We don't need to go to a place with everyone in there and go through everyone's data
for 8 hours.
For 8 hours.
And say, hey, break for lunch at 1 for an hour, and then come back and. Okay, look at this data again, dude. Okay, we're over it, man.
When I'm sitting in there, this is an email. This could be in an email.
Exactly,
we're fine,
man. And you know what? Let's be honest, man. Let's make the curriculum fun for the kids, relatable to the kids. Maybe they'll have more fun in classes, man. But now, every time I walk past classes, dude, this is almost every kid on their laptop. I'm like, dude, where's the social? In my class, we hardly ever use any technology. It's more face to face. They talk. I even give. Dude, I'm so old school, man. I still do the book and multiple choice papers, dude. But guess what? This is where the problem comes into play. I can go over the chapter. I give them the book. Open the book. The answers are in the book, right? And I still have people that fail, right? But like you said, I have 30 kids in one class. Yeah. So I can't stop for every kid and help you and you and you and you. Yeah. But my point is, even with the book and the answers, and I tell them, it says page 1 to page 5. Answers are there. Coach, where are the answers? Okay, you just need to read. It's right there. Look at that little paragraph right here. Like, they can't even do that, which scares me because it's like, you have the answers right in front of you, but you know what? I'm so used to a computer looking up the answers for me. I don't want to read. Yeah. And I don't want to look for anything. I'm like, so I see a big problem. I see a big problem right there.
So I would say to end the whole thing, it would be better pay. Yeah. It would be better resources and more resources. That's from material to people, different types of better management, better systems, and 8 to 3:30.
I was about to say that.
And I would definitely want to say we follow what other countries do and take a 2-hour siesta somewhere in there so we can go home, chill out, go back to school, and still get out at 3. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There we go.
And I'll add one more thing to it. Me being a PE and health teacher, hey, why don't you take your kids outside or use it as a reward? You know what I do. Hey, you guys are going to behave all week on Thursday or Friday, depending on my mood. If you did well, I'll take you outside. Dude, I take them outside. They walk 2 laps, minimum 2 laps. Some of them will play football, basketball, whatever I have out there. If we're not in the gym, we're outside. I'll open the weight room because I have access to that, and the kids will lift, and I'll lift with them. But I'm taking care of everybody, and that's an incentive. Now, if teachers did that a little bit more, you know what, guys, y'all do a good job. On Friday, I'm gonna take you out for a little recess time, 45 minutes. Oh yeah, I mean, and that's how you will capture them. You'll be the best teacher ever because you take them outside. So I would say that, the pay, shorten the hours, dude, and take your kids outside. They have a lot of energy. Think about this. They're sitting down for 400 plus minutes a day, including cafeteria, because you got to sit down and eat. That's a lot of minutes, man. If you add that, mathematicians out there, man, add that up, man, and per year and per grade level, as you say. I know elementary, they get out early. Middle school gets out at a certain time. High school gets out at a certain time. But do the minutes. We did the math. I don't want to give you our numbers because it might be different from yours.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of minutes sitting in class on a daily, for sure.
Well, thanks, brother.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We'll see ya. Bye.
All right. Okay. Bye.